Fine. What do you want to talk about? I don't care. Let's talk about it.
Okay, kids, let's go.
I agree.
How many things did I just say?
An awakening. Have you felt it?
I need some Ivan ooze in my life. Oozing, using, and abusing. Here we go, today and tomorrow.
Hello.
I can't do this anymore.
Cruising for a bruising. You be losing.
R2-ing.
I be choosing. My Pokemon. Snorlax.
Snorlax.
May the force be with us. Fucking A.
Good day, Galaxy. Rogue Squadron. Back at it again. I am Mopar.
I am Commander Cody. In the house.
So 258. Did I guess that right?
No. 276. You're only off by 20 or so. It's
I'm
not
only
that big
off
of
by
deal. I mean,
a
come on.
year. Only one full year away.
It's not. I mean, but at the rate that we release episodes, it's really not that much. But, you know, I forgive you. Yeah, it's 276, everybody. Thanks
Wow.
for tuning in, if you are tuning in.
Yeah. So, what's up?
Well, sometimes I was going to say about the episode numbers. Sometimes I wonder if our milestones will link up. You know, as we get closer to January, I was like, hey, are we going to get to 300 by the time we get to January? The answer to that is no at this point. But it would be cool if we got synchronicity. You know, here's the anniversary and we got episode 300 at the same time.
Synchronisms. Yeah. I mean, I feel bad saying this, but the milestones, even though they're greater milestones, they become less and less in my mind because we've been doing this for so long. You know, when we first hit like 5,000 and 10,000, we're like, fucking someone's clicking our shit. Oh my God. And now we're like, yeah, maybe 300,000 soon, maybe whatever.
Yeah, I guess. I didn't even watch Star Wars in the past 3 months, but let's talk about it anyway.
Let's talk about it. Other people are doing so we'll throw our opinions in as well.
It feels good to not be, like, we're not like a news source, you know?
Sure.
Like, there's some YouTube channels or, like, blogs or, you know, Star Wars Twitter accounts that are like, as soon as something comes out, we got a recap on it, like, 20 minutes later, ready to go
Sure.
and uploading. So it feels nice and low pressure to not have to do that.
Yeah, it feels more of a reaction thing. People are interested in what we have to say, which is kind of nice, whatever.
I think so. Or
Or they just want to hear us
interested
chat.
They're interested in how much of a blunder we'll make of ourselves
I
live,
wonder-
and then they
they-
can make memes out of it.
They get their updated news from the wholesome news outlets, Star Wars Explained and all the other ones, and then
Yeah.
they go to us and say, hey guys, how pissed are you? Explain how pissed you are.
And then we get our information and our news from those same outlets as well. And then we come and
True.
talk about how pissed we are.
True.
It's
valid.
it's the circle of life. The circle of fandom.
Circle of life.
Fans. Oh man. So yeah, news-wise, at least for us and the goings on of the Rogue Squadron, we are gonna have a crossover very shortly coming up with Revenge of the '90s. I was on there once to talk about Batman Returns, but leading up to the new Jackass movie, Steve is gonna have Mopar and myself both on to cover CKY, which was released just before the new millennium.
Yeah. No, I am. I'm pretty hyped, to be honest. I'm just hyped to simply rewatch it. I haven't watched the CKYs in a minute,
Yeah.
and I do like starting at the beginning. So the first CKY is a great opportunity, and with all the craziness and news stories that have gone on about BAM and all that, it sucks. And I just kind of maybe want to go back to the heyday of those innocent times
Yeah.
that were just. There's like a wholesomeness of a guy getting kicked in the nuts. You know what I'm saying? You know it is though. Like I do
agree.
remember ball tapping friends and then laughing about it, even though your friend is livid mad at you. It's like,
Yes.
yeah, but it's all good fun.
That's accurate. Yeah, you know, when you tip someone over in a shopping cart, it really makes you really sit back and reflect on your life. So I know what you mean.
So no, I'm pretty hyped to talk about CKY. I'm pretty hyped to rewatch it, and
Yeah.
you know, I probably won't stop if I watch the first one even after Revenge of the '90s and we do that episode. I'm just gonna power through all of them because that's
Yeah.
the kind of freak I am.
We got to watch all 4 in the same night, really, if you're a true fan of anything.
Yeah.
But as they like to do, they will tangent. So even though CKY 1 is the only one released in the 90s, I'm sure we'll open up some space to talk about 2, 3, and 4. So, but 1 is the one that I've watched the least. So yes, I am excited to go back and revisit it. It's been a minute.
Yeah. So that's coming up.
Yep.
We'll be recording that later this week, so it'll probably drop in the next couple weeks or so. And then Steve from Revenge who's been a lifelong friend of ours, will be joining us.
We
were
to
friends
come on the show, and we were like, fine, I guess. It'll be good to talk with him. We've casually talked about Star Wars over the course of our friendship, but we haven't. I don't think he's been on the show at all, so we haven't really sat down and etched in stone what are our thoughts on Star Wars. I know he has a lot of thoughts about Rise of Skywalker in particular. So
good. That's one to have a lot of thoughts about. I was out of town this weekend and at a wedding who I wasn't a part of at all. I wasn't involved. It's friends of the wife from California, so
yeah.
It was just me and a bunch of strangers, essentially. I had
weddings.
met one of the brides. That's about it.
There were multiple brides there?
Yes, it
was a double wedding?
No. You're getting there.
Oh, I'm so sorry. For some reason, I thought you misspoke and meant to say bridesmaids.
No, there was 2 brides in this wedding.
All right, I'm so sorry. I
you're
I did not mean for that to sound like
no.
Whatever.
The churnings were there, and you're like, wait a second.
Yeah.
That's basically impossible. Oh, wait.
Insert Windows 98 shutdown noise here.
But all that to say, of course, I was trying to make small talk, and people were asking me. Surprisingly, for those who don't know, I have Obi-Wan's lightsaber on my arm. And to be honest, when I'm out in public, I get the weirdest looks if they don't immediately know it's a lightsaber. I've gotten like, why do you have a pipe on your arm? You're like, dude, chill the fuck out.
So I can beat you in the face because
yes.
you know what it is.
But it is very nice. I'll get those random like, whose lightsaber is that? So it's like, yeah, it's fun. But making small talk, this guy, we were talking about the lightsaber, and then he's like, well, what are your thoughts on Rogue One? I was like, honestly, one of my favorite Star Wars movies. And he's like, thank you. I was like, wow.
Instant
even for
friendship.
It felt like he wasn't like a deep-rooted nerd. He wasn't a huge Star Wars fan. So it was actually kind of refreshing for kind of just a regular fan to be that enthralled with.
Yeah. With the burps. Liquid Death makes it happen. Sponsored by
Liquid Death.
Yeah.
So all that to say, Rogue One is great, and from me to him, everybody loves it.
It's good to form an instant connection with someone. Those situations can sometimes be awkward. It's like I've been in that boat. My wife was a bridesmaid in like a ton of different weddings in the past. We got married kind of late out of the course of all of our friends. And even though I obviously went to college together, but like all the people that I knew were usually in the bridal party off doing their thing. So I'm just kind of there by myself. You got to talk to somebody. And yeah, it just makes it easier if they like Star Wars. You have someone to talk about.
And it's a very hazy gray area. When someone says, "Oh, you like Star Wars?" I'm like, "Here we fucking go."
Thank you.
What level of Star Wars are you discussing?
Yes.
I had a random girl. God, who was it? He was in like a fucking checkout line or someone, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I saw your lightsaber. My blah blah blah. My sister has Star Wars tattoos." And I'm like, "Oh, here we go." So you don't know anything about it? She's like, "No, she's got Obi-Wan and Ahsoka." I was like, "Oh, okay." Tossing out Ahsoka's like, okay, you are a notch up just to know who Ahsoka is.
I rank you higher as a person in my mind.
You are a better human than most. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you want to hear like, what have you seen? What characters do you know actually?
Right.
And even to say, hey, she has Ahsoka on her back or whatever, lower back. That's where I would put Ahsoka. Lower front maybe. But yeah, I'm sure all of you guys run into that if you go out in public and try to make small talk. They're like, Star Wars, and you're like, oh god.
Well, yeah, I'll talk myself out of what I said. If you meet somebody and you can kind of broach into the Star Wars conversation, it does make it a little less awkward in a lot of situations. But depending on how that conversation begins, it could make it more awkward. Because the worst thing that you can do is be like, they can see a Star Wars tattoo and like, well, first of all, if they see my Commander Cody and they're like, oh yeah, Boba Fett, I'm just like, I have to walk away. But because that's happened before. But the worst thing is like they open and they're just like, man, Disney just like really, and that's all they have to say, and you're just like, ah. Or if they want to say something about the prequels, you know, or if you got this kid in the chat here that says 3's the best, no argument, originals are outdated. Any of those like cutoff statements, they change the course of the conversation.
Yeah, it's weird. I'll throw that out there. And like you said, it can be very good or very bad. You could click immediately and be like, dude, I understand your point of view. Or you didn't like 7, 8, or 9, but you know you have valid points and all that. Or it could just be like, hello there, and they just stare at you. You're like, fuck me. I'm just talking to myself over here, over-explaining why I like the Mandalorian and how the Jedi fit in, and they're like, yeah, I saw it. He was cute. You're like, fuck.
If you say hello there to a random stranger and they don't grow 2 extra arms and say General Kenobi, what do you don't have anything to talk about. Just walk away.
Goodbye there.
Don't make lines in the sand about when it comes to Star Wars. Just talk about it and enjoy it and love it.
So speaking of feelings on Star Wars, which is all the fuck time we got to do and talk about, I did, as I always do, Google Star Wars, and I did see that editor Marcia Lucas, which is George's ex-wife, who was an editor, I believe, for 4, 5, and 6.
Wow, okay.
She recently, this stuff was posted like 5 hours, 2 hours, and 8 hours ago, that she absolutely hated JJ and Kathleen's stuff, and that they, quote, didn't get it. You know, which is whatever. You know, if you worked on the original trilogy, you do have a special spot in my heart. You know, we all, nothing would be here without it. And then I went and dug a little deeper, and she basically said, "How could you kill off Han Solo? And then how could you kill off Luke? And then you have no Leia?" And I'm like,
"Well, you see, it's because they're 80 years old."
Yeah, well, that's it. Which, so I was trying to wrap my mind around this. You know, if I'm an original trilogy fan and I love Luke, Leia, and Han and Chewie, what would your expectations of 7, 8, and 9 be?
Well, we're running into the same nostalgia factor conversation as if when I talk about Pokemon to someone of a younger generation and I say there's only 151, change my mind. I feel like that's the same kind of thing as like the original trilogy are on a pedestal and the rest are just kind of, you know, poor attempts to keep going with Star Wars.
Yeah.
So I guess depending on how, you know, near and dear you hold it, there kind of is no option. You know, some people that love the original trilogy go into those newer Star Wars films and they're like, they're not expecting to see something that's going to exceed their expectations. You know what I mean? They're going in and they're just thinking like, you know, I guess let's see what they came up with this time.
Yeah, I guess my argument to that would be, it seems like you were in love with the characters and not the universe. Because the universe is still there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like, if you're so enthralled and so tied in on only Luke, Leia, and Han, then you're not a Star Wars fan. You're a Luke, Leia, and Han fan. It's very weird in my mind. Like, I get it, but I don't know. It's like you're just going to hate the new stuff because those 3 characters aren't in it? Like, that's not a real valid point.
Unfortunately, yeah. And I feel like
I guess maybe you can just be a character of the a character. Maybe you can be a fan of just the characters and not the universe. Maybe there is a separation of fans. If you're an original trilogy fan and you're not so deep into it, maybe you just do. I like Han, Luke, and Leia. It's a fun story about, you know, a princess and a smuggler and a wizard kid, and they just save the galaxy. You know, on the surface, okay. And then when they make 7, 8, and 9, and those 3 characters aren't in it, or they're killing them off, yeah, I guess I can see how it could cut ties in your own mind.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm a fan of the universe that was created around those characters and how, you know, of course, I have appreciation for those characters because they change the universe in their own way. But, you know, some of our favorite shit happens 1,000 years before those characters, 4,000 years before those characters. Kylo Ren happens after. And Thrawn, I've been trying to go into the Heir of the Empire stuff, and been watching those short little YouTube clips that I watched, or that I brought up a couple of episodes ago.
Yeah.
That the guy animated, basically the Heir to the Empire.
Right.
All that stuff happens out, a little bit. Bunch.
Just a little bit. I'm glad you brought that up, because here's what I was going to say. You love the universe and the world building and et cetera, et cetera. You like the scenario. And I would say I do as well, and I appreciate when you kind of go a little outside the box, using the same world building, but, totally different era, totally different characters. Maybe that's why we like KOTOR so much. Because it's like you see Star Wars, the movies, you get an appreciation for it, and you're like, man, I wonder what else he could do with this. And then you have something like KOTOR, which really does kind of, I don't want to say rewrite the playbook.
No, it takes us to the next level. Like you can...
Yeah. So maybe that's why we did connect to that as much, because it did take it to the next level, whereas we get to the sequels, we're excited Star Wars is coming back, but they are just kind of rooting us back in the Skywalker era, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, like even Lucas's original ideas for 7, 8, and 9 were the children of Luke, Han, and Leia. Like it wasn't ever supposed to be about just those 3 characters. I don't know. You were married. I don't know. You were married to him. Like how can you understand? Now maybe you're just salty because Lucas isn't making these decisions anymore, even though you're, divorced. I don't fucking know.
I think there's something really great about a visionary creating a universe and laying down the foundation and then letting other people kind of go crazy with it. That can obviously get you into trouble, where, the end of Game of Thrones kind of had that problem.
We figured it out.
What?
Marcia is 75 years old.
Oh, yeah.
Just that age right there. That's going to explain a lot.
You stopped changing your mind around like 60, I think, maybe.
Oh, no, way far way before that. She stopped.
Probably about 33, I think I started changing my mind.
As soon as Madonna was a thing, she's like, I'm done thinking. This all sucks from here on out. 1982 and on.
Oh, that's extreme.
Well, that's Marcia for you.
What was I saying? I can't remember where you, yeah.
That's all right.
That's the good and bad part about having the chat.
Yeah.
I can't remember where I was. Remind me if you know where I was, and I'll pick it back up. But anyways.
So, yeah, I mean, my background today is Luke from episode 6, and, maybe she does have a little bit of a point. We only got to see badass Luke in the end of episode 6, and we did praise that when we got to see that in Mando.
Right.
So to make, a true trilogy where he is a badass, I, of course, would like to see that. And, even in my childhood, where it's rooted in stuff like the Jedi Knight series, where Luke was still Grand Master and all that.
Mm-hmm.
It is awesome to fucking see. So,
yeah.
No, it is a missed opportunity. And the Grand Master that we got was a broken, scaredy cat. So I get it.
Oh, I remember what I was talking about.
Here we go.
It's cool for a visionary creator to lay down the foundation and then let other people kind of build off of it. That's where I started going. And yeah, it can run into trouble. But then you have something like Marvel, where those superheroes, and DC, like Batman was created how long ago? And so many different artists and writers and actors have been re-portraying that character and kind of building on it for the past, 80 or 100 years, which is cool. So I guess maybe George, when creating Star Wars, on one hand had a giant vision because the universe does feel so big, but on the other hand had a very grounded vision of just this set of characters or just this family or just this timeline, where maybe he was only thinking in the span of 50 or 60 years.
Yeah.
Whereas the rest of us, well, that's cool for 3 movies, but George wants to make the movies and then he's done for a little while. We're engaged in this stuff every day. We need to expand it bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah. So yeah, like you said, George may have inadvertently had a limited vision of what Star Wars was, and he created this family and a story around the family where the fans wanted more, and that's where the KOTORs and all this other stuff came out of, which he was okay with.
Sometimes, I don't know. I've seen quotes of him saying he thought all the expanded universe stuff was kind of bogus and doesn't really count.
Well, a lot of it was, especially during his time. I would agree with that, but I can't fathom Lucas reading about KOTOR and reading about Revan and learning about his story and saying, this is dog shit, we don't need this. Like, dude, this is such a fresh look on what you created, and it has nothing to do, almost, with what you created. If you truly were, Skywalker family and that's it. I don't know.
Yeah. It makes me wonder what will happen to things like Harry Potter once, because I think there's been a few like spin-off things. I know there was a play and there's like 2 new books and there's a new game coming out, but I wonder like if the author were to give rights to just say, here, I'm going to sell this to Disney or whatever, do whatever the fuck you want with it. It'd be curious to see something like that has had a shorter lifespan get expanded into a much larger universe, and just to see what happens with it. And we can kind of experiment and see if
like
that's
Marvel?
actually what we wanted. What?
Like Marvel?
Kind of. I mean, it's still Marvel.
It was short-lived though. They can make a couple Spider-Man movies, and then all of a sudden, boom, Iron Man's a thing, and you're like, oh shit, MCU's a thing. I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Which in and of itself is someone new putting their spin and their larger, massive vision of 100 movies on the Marvel characters that have been around for so long.
Yeah. I'm wondering if they're playing it either too safe or they don't know what they're doing with the directors. Because it seems like everything they've done, they've had some type of director issue. Or if they didn't have a director issue, people have issues with the movie. I don't know. Like, it feels like there is some type of issue with them choosing directors for the Star Wars films.
I don't think we've had those issues since Mandalorian came out. They seem pretty solid. Well, season 1. But I guess I would wager, not that I know how to run a movie studio or anything, but they were probably experimenting just to see what they liked and what it was like working with different directors and how things felt. If 2012 you buy Star Wars and then a year later you say we're going to do these movies every other year, alternating, blah, 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 and then you set all those plans, well, 3 or 4 years down the road after a movie or two has come out, I mean, things kind of change a little bit, so you got to pivot. So they were probably just seeing what worked.
I was wondering, what was the mindset even just behind having JJ then Ryan? Like, why not just have JJ do a trilogy?
I think they wanted to have 3 different directors like there was in the original trilogy.
Yeah,
for variation.
But
I think that's good. Almost all the Marvel movies have different directors. I think that's a good idea.
But they're not a trilogy. It's not one story. It is an overall timeline, but it's not the same story.
Well, you have Avengers and then into Avengers 2. Those had different directors. And then into Avengers Infinity War, I think it went back to... Who did the ones? The brothers? Russo brothers?
I don't know.
But I think if you have somebody... Like, if somebody's laying down the vision of, like, next 7 years of Star Wars, here we go. And then you kind of drop that out to have different directors do the different movies with somebody still kind of pulling them in the right direction. I think that makes more sense.
Yeah, but they fucked up. Then they tried to re-fuck it up, and then they fucked it up by re-fucking it up. Now they're trying to fix it by giving Ryan a whole trilogy, but he'll fuck that up, and then we're still in a fucked place because we fucked it up.
I am really geeked to see what Rian Johnson comes up with.
I am
too. I shouldn't say placeholder. That's the wrong word. Without a
existing,
with a clean slate, we'll say.
Yes. No, I agree, and I do. If their mindset going into 7, 8, 9 was we have to follow the formula of 4, 5, and 6 with the directors, that's the dumbest reason I've ever heard. Now, with that said, I do like the standalones. You can do whatever the fuck you want. That's what they're there for. But like a trilogy is a fluid story and should be a single vision from a certain point of view. Yeah, I don't know, because we say five was directed by Kirshner.
Irvin Kershner, yeah.
But I'm sure Lucas was still all over that shit.
Well, exactly. That's what I mean. That's what makes it. That's what gives you a good balance.
It gives a good balance because there's one guy deciding all of this stuff.
No,
Irvin,
not
go
necessarily.
over there and film exactly this, bitch. I'm
No.
busy doing other stuff.
I haven't watched a lot of behind the scenes, but I imagine you also have George in his ear, which is like, well, that's not the part of the universe. It's supposed to be like this. Like you have someone making larger universe, world building fiction decisions, and then you have somebody that's in the nitty gritty of filming. They're making like acting decisions and choices on like the set and lighting and emotions and blah blah blah. And you have those two things kind of merged.
Do you think there's too many hands in the pot then? Too many people making decisions?
Well,
Because
this is where we should have Steve on because he knows more about like actual filmmaking and studio shit than we do.
Stay tuned to get the answers next week on Rogue Squad.
Well, I was gonna say like I feel like movie making these days just has more hands in general, kind of as default. There's like quadruple the amount of people working on movies as there were back
Just
then.
to get it done, I get it. But in story writing,
So that's what I mean.
I don't. There should be like two people, and it should be opposites, but so they can play off each other. But I just
You don't play with it.
it's we get back to the disconnection of 7, 8, 9. They
Yeah.
feel so different and not in a linear way. You can be directorially different, and it could be a different style. But if it's not a linear story, it doesn't fucking count. It doesn't matter because you fuck the characters up. That's what happened. Well, sorry.
I guess I just thought of something. Maybe this is part of it. From a director's point of view, it would be difficult to sign on to do Star Wars for like 7 years straight. Like we're gonna do a trilogy, release a movie every other year. You know, it's like probably like a year and a half in production, another year in post production, and you're gonna do all three. And like basically, if you're a director, you're saying I'm not gonna do any other projects or have any other type of inspiration or time off while I do these 3 movies for 7 years.
That's what you
That's
need.
probably got to be a. I don't think anyone other than like
Lucas
and Filoni are like, I only ever want to do Star Wars stuff.
then
right now.
fucking sign Filoni up.
Well, that's why they did. A couple months ago, they got Filoni. He's like,
yeah.
he's not head honcho, but he's close.
What is he going to be doing? Or just overall decision maker of movies? Is that his official title? King decision maker.
Overall decision maker of movies with cowboy hat.
And major decisions upon the...
He is executive creative director.
Dude, that's it. That's it. What should we do here? If we're in a pickle with Kylo and which direction should we go? Hey, king of the decisions.
Decision king.
Yeah, decision
Decide
king.
us.
Fork in the road decider. Let's do this.
Yeah.
That's fine. But he would have the vision. He would be like, this is where we could take him. This is what this means, and this is how it fits. I feel like those 3 questions are never asked. They're just gonna be like, we're gonna fucking do it, and then if we can always take a step back, if we fuck it up and make it, oh, that was a dream or something, or whatever.
That's probably what they're doing. I mean, you absolutely see notes of him in The Mandalorian, in The Bad Batch, in the last Clone Wars season, etc. And also the reason that all of these items are starting to tie together, I think, is because of him.
Yeah.
Ahsoka's in Mandalorian. He created Ahsoka back in Clone Wars, etc. So there's
Perfect.
They're all kind of spiderwebbing into each other because of him, which is cool. So they were probably like, bring us a cohesive vision to this shit. Please.
But why would they have to ask that? That's the issue.
Well, 'cause-
bring a linear story that makes sense. Oh, okay. This is good.
Oh, my bad. We did it.
Here we
the
go.
other
Here
way
we go.
last time.
This is my vision. Beginning, middle, and end. Get this. It happens.
Get this. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just, like I said, I think they have to trial and error sometimes. And unfortunately, the trials cost like $1 billion. They also made a couple $1 billion as well. Think about how crazy this is. They made their money back and broke even on experimenting. And now
True.
they can move forward, solely
Yeah.
profit, and like make actual good stuff.
Yeah. Well, and the good thing is they're opening the video games up.
Hopefully.
The comics are still rolling along,
That's the other thing.
so that's good. So we'll see. I would still like to see. I've come around to Luke, man. If I do still and can still appreciate Episode 8 Luke.
Oh, yeah.
But I do think there's a lot of timeline in between there that I still would like to see. And we just saw just the tip of it in Mando, where he was the badass and he was a savior for the not for the first time, for probably the fourth time in one story, because Luke always saves all.
Always.
But
Always saves all.
it's true.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like sometimes the way that they've been doing Star Wars is that they will give us... They'll give us a thread. Let me restate that. They'll give us a storyline, and then they'll give us a bunch of like cameos or like little threads that will take us in different directions. For me, a lot of times that the threads that they drop, that's the story that I want to see instead of whatever they've chosen as the main story. So like you get Luke in 8, one of the best performances I've ever seen on screen.
Mm-hmm.
Disgruntled Luke, he's in hiding, et cetera, et cetera. We all know that if we've seen The Last Jedi. They leave the thread of him having to academy of students, training Jedi, Ben Solo, blows up the academy, leaves, gets seduced by Snoke. See, that's the story that I actually want to see. But they only give it to us as a thread.
Yeah.
How long is it going to take for me to get that story? And maybe that's just like differences in what they're doing versus like kind of what I'm asking for, I guess. But yeah, typically those little breadcrumbs that they leave us is actually what I want to see instead of the main storyline.
Yeah, it's almost like you already created the story. You just haven't put it on screen.
Right.
You created the story of Luke's failed Jedi Order.
Yeah.
But we don't get to see any of it. That's exactly like you said. Come on.
And back to your point of too many cooks in the kitchen. I feel like by the time we do get that, it's going to get molded in here, and Ryan thought of it, but now it goes to Lucasfilm, and now it's in a comic book, and the writers at Marvel have this spin on it, or it's going to go to a video game, and the video game studio has this spin on it, and
now there's a Force-sensitive scorpion talking to pigs, and they're flying, and they got to save the droids of the... Yeah, it's all
that's
fun.
what I'm talking about. That's my kind of Star Wars.
That's honestly... I should... I'm for hire.
As we've been saying for a year or two.
Yeah.
Give us jobs.
Yeah.
It's
crazy. It's crazy. As I get older, I get it. I'm coming around to Luke Skywalker. I get it. I want more Luke.
Really?
Yeah, I don't, and it's not because of the original trilogy per se. It's more of, I guess, the unseen stuff that happens. Like we just said, I'd love to see Luke Skywalker's Jedi Order.
Yeah.
And we've seen the aftermath, but nothing in between. So come on.
Yeah.
No, and you're right
in
the way Filoni's tying stuff together in a good way. I mean, the fact that we got Ahsoka in the Mando, first of all, fan theorists or fan what the fuck am I trying to say? Fan service aside. Just for them to go to that length and put her in there, and for it to make sense and be like, of course Ahsoka's going to be the one to, what am I even trying to say? Like, figure out what to do with Grogu.
Yeah.
She should be the decision maker because she's not Luke, which sounds dumb, but I don't know. It's just. I'm happy with it. All that to say, I'm happy with it.
I think we're getting there. Yeah. And I would wager that pretty much all the new Star Wars stuff that they announced earlier this year, all the new shows that they're going to do, I would wager that all of those are going to have ties into all of Filoni's stories, except for obviously Visions and the New Republic, or the High Republic one. Those are kind of their own thing. But everything else, Rangers of the New Republic and Bad Batch we've already seen, Mando Season 3, Book of Boba Fett, all that stuff, it's all coming together.
Yeah, but my God, am I low-key hyped for Visions, which comes out in 2 days.
Fuck yeah. That's what we have to look forward to.
2 days. So this week...
I forgot.
This week will be the launch of it, and as stated before, we get them all. We get them all up front, so you can just blast through them.
That's, I think, mostly because they are not connected. I think they're all unique stories. I bet, because, the next time they release something that's episodic, they're going to give it to us once a week. Which drives me nuts sometimes. We talked about that, but yeah, Visions. I'm ready. Let's do it. Because I've mostly been watching Marvel stuff lately. Video game chat for a second?
Go ahead.
Let's do it. Did you see the Star Wars Hunters that came out?
I'm on StarWars.com and I just saw. No, I didn't. I just saw that the trailer was a thing.
That's funny. You could pull it up on mute and just take a look. So when they announced the rebrand for Lucasfilm Games earlier this year, they mentioned one of the projects was going to be, it's called Star Wars Hunters. There it is. Yep. Read more. Thank you. It is for mobile and Switch, unfortunately, which kind of drives me nuts. And I actually forgot about this game. And when Zale shared the trailer in our Patreon group chat, I started watching it and I got excited because to me it kind of looked like Overwatch Star Wars.
Absolutely. I'm watching it right now, and that's exactly how it felt. At least the animation style is definitely Overwatchy.
Yeah,
a little cartoony and
Yep.
but bright and colorful.
And you got all these different characters. They each have their own unique ability, and they're all kind of, you got, different classes, snipers, medics, whatever.
Ooh, a droideka.
Droideka. Dude riding a droideka, which is cool. So I saw this, and I totally forgotten about the Hunters announcement, and I was like, what is this brand new game? This is fucking awesome. And then at the end, it was like mobile, iOS, Android, and Switch only. Now I have a Switch, and I know you have a Switch as well. But the fact that it's mobile and Switch kind of leads me to think that it's going to be, I don't want to say watered down.
Gimmicky. It's going to be dumb, and there's going to be in-game purchases. And
Definitely
Star Wars,
in-game purchases. Yeah.
Star Wars is confirmed still trash.
I hate my life. Why did this trailer come out?
That's why, yep.
Yeah, gimmicky is the best way to put it. Thank you.
Yeah, I just hope it's
So check
anything.
this out if you haven't seen it yet. Just look up Star Wars Hunters on YouTube.
I just hope it's anything but what we expect. Because I expect nothing out of this because mobile is the game killer. Like, I don't care.
I agree with that, yeah.
You're not going to have an in-depth game. It's going to be clicky and like, hey, stay around. You gotta load up your energy so you can battle again. It's like, no, I don't. I
can only battle twice unless you pay us $5 today.
I can go blast around on Battlefield all fucking day. All I want.
However, they have been putting a lot more into mobile games lately. Apple has their whole Apple Arcade. You can get that on the Apple TV, and you can like sync an Xbox controller to it and play mobile games on your TV as if it was a console. So they're kind of expanding a lot, which is cool. And the fact that it's on Switch, like I said, it might give us a little more robustness than we're thinking.
Robusty.
Robusted. So the thing that got me, I think, the most hyped was this is all brand new stuff. And it doesn't look like there's a story. It doesn't have to be bogged down in some story that connects with everything. It's like, here's 10 really interesting characters. Here's a Jedi droid. Here's a fucking midget driving a droideka. Like, really interesting, cool stuff that doesn't have to be connected to everything. So that, at least, I have to look forward to.
Absolutely. No, it sounds dumb, but that's all we want. Strip it down, have a battle game, and nothing has to make sense. Have fucking Wookiee Jedis versus, droid Jedis. I don't even give a shit. Throw it in there, whatever.
Right.
And it should be customizable. You should be able to build your own character. It should be a battle game just like Overwatch. But you get to choose your character style and have some
RPG
upgrade elements. You get 50 points. However you spend them, whatever you want. You can customize it and fucking make it happen. And then as they update the game, they can OP or tweak them all. If someone gets too fucked around.
That was the most eloquent description of game development I've ever heard.
I'm here. That's why I'm here.
Update the game if they get fucked around.
They get fucked around. What else do you need?
Yeah, I was getting Overwatch vibes at first, and then the iOS tag and the Android tag that made me let down a little bit. But
yeah,
we'll see what happens. Now, I think we're getting to the point where we might have 3 to 4 Star Wars games in a year across a bunch of different platforms.
Yes, I
Now,
agree.
if they do that and one of them is a mobile game, it's not as big of a hit as if all of us are waiting after, Battlefront 2 and then Squadrons. We're all just waiting for the next thing, and it's another mobile game. That's upsetting. But if we have a bunch of things at the same time, it kind of lessens the blow, so to speak. But we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, that's the shitty thing. I haven't played a good Star Wars game since Fallen Order, and we've all talked about that. So,
Yeah. Well, Squadrons was. I think it's good. It's just not. I'm not a flight simulator guy, so
Sure.
it's just not my thing. I might have to download it again and try it out.
I was just thinking that, like, is it worth downloading? That's my true question. Like,
Is it worth
What-
the bandwidth?
yeah, I don't know if there's a good answer yet.
So also on the video game front,
Here we go.
I know you got an Xbox Series S, 1S, whatever the hell you call it. I'm not quite ready to upgrade, but I did want something new for my gaming experience, and I shelled out and got the Elite Xbox controller,
Oh yeah. Wait, the full Elite,
the new Elite Series 2.
the like $200 one, $150 one.
Yeah.
Jesus, why wouldn't you just get the new console? It comes with an upgraded for $300.
But it's not an Elite.
I know you can.
not the same
you can,
controller.
You can adjust the tips and the lips. You can
Well,
do whatever you need.
Listen, I got that really slick light gray, the lips and the tips. I got that slick light gray with like the green underlay controller.
Yep,
And
I
it,
had the same
it
one.
like barely lasted me a year.
Yeah, mine broke.
And then I have that blue one that you have.
Yep,
And
that
it
one-
still works, but like the thumbsticks are worn off and like all
Same.
the material, it's all worn off. So I was like, listen, if it only lasts me a year, that's annoying. The Elite Series 2 should have, it should be a fucking lifetime warranty for as much as that thing costs. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to have this. It'll work with the Series X once I do get it, whatever. So I went and I got one. And I got to say, it's fucking awesome.
Nice.
I was very skeptical. Well, I was half skeptical because obviously I fucking bought it. But I was like, am I actually going to use the interchangeable thumbsticks, and did the quality materials really make that much of a difference? And I have to say, like, yeah, it feels much better in your hands. It's heavier,
yeah.
and even like the thumbsticks and the buttons are heavier materials. So like they have a little bit of weight to them. So when you're pushing them around, it just feels
A little more responsive. Yeah.
it feels like you have some control. And I just got it yesterday, so I'm just kind of breaking into it. I can't give a full review quite yet. I haven't totally customized every single thing.
Out of 17 stars, what would you give it?
16.
Damn, Jerry, what the fuck happened there?
It's a 3 out of 3 for sure.
The
Definitely
only
a 3 out of 3.
Oh yeah.
And
The
I think
only
it was,
negative star was the
sorry.
price.
Well, again, I guess I can't say for sure until it's like 2 years from now. But if it lasts as long as it's supposed to, I think it's totally worth it.
Yeah.
Because listen, I had to buy 2 controllers over the course of 2 years. I mean, that's the same price as getting this. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean the new controllers, the new standard controllers are upgraded already. They're updated.
yeah, definitely.
So the one that came with my S and the one that I bought before that have been the same, but they're
Right.
definitely an upgrade because there's texture all over it, and you have texture on the triggers and all that.
Yep. Yep.
So I've been very happy with the 2 that I have.
Good.
But I've stared at that the custom one for a while. I just never
Yeah.
pulled the trigger.
Oh shit. Yeah, I think it was Turkey Sandwich was telling me about that
Smoked
controller and also smoked ham,
Smoke
cold
ham,
cuts, cold cuts.
cold cut with the combo. You got the chips for free.
Deli Stand was talking about that controller and also like the new headset, and I was like, maybe I'll get one or the other. My headset's so nice and comfortable and fucking high quality. I was like, let's just get the controller here.
Yeah, I'm about to pull a trigger on a headset here pretty soon. I just the one that I bought years ago, the blue one, is so uncomfortable, and honestly, it just isn't loud. So and it's wired. I have to be wired in, so to have something Bluetooth would be very, very nice.
Yeah, mine is still wired. I mean, it like wired into the controller. I mean,
Yeah.
so it's like halfway there. But yeah, he was talking about that new Microsoft one has you can connect 2 sources to it, so you could have like Discord on your phone and then the game and everything on your Xbox at the same time, which sounds fucking awesome.
That's fucking perfect.
That'd be great for like cross-platform games where you can't really get into a party with someone on PC. You can jump on Discord or something like that and still make it work.
Yeah. No, I agree. So I might get that standard Microsoft one you're talking about, as long as it's wireless. But for $100, that's hardly rolling the dice anymore, because you'll
Not
get
really.
what you pay for.
Yeah. Yeah, so more to come on the controller, but it's really good first impression so far. You can customize literally everything. You can set like 200 different like presets and save them and remap all the buttons that you want. I haven't gotten quite used to the paddles on the back. It's a little awkward because I've been gaming for 30 years with no paddles, so it's just kind of an adjustment. But you can customize that, and you can control the sensitivity on the thumbsticks. Like you can make it tighter or looser, which is really cool.
The depth.
The depth is good. It has its own app. You can customize everything. Oh, the coolest thing is that you can make a shift button, and then you can set all of your buttons to have like a secondary command. So like I can hold the paddle, and that acts as shift. Then I can set like Shift X to be screen capture without having to like go to the menu and hit that. Yeah,
Shift
screen Y is teabag. Screen B is or Shift B is send hate mail to your opponents.
Send.
They have all those kind of actions built into the app, which is really great.
Send.
Microsoft
Quarterly,
really thought of everything.
Hot Pockets. Send frozen Hot Pocket.
Yeah, exactly. Leave a comment on this web zone. Ship it. Shift A.
Shift A.
So it's cool.
Yeah. I ended up pulling the trigger actually just today. Glass Armor was asking me, "Hey, have you bought the new Far Cry yet?" I was like, "It's not out." Ooh. Oh, so I think October 6th or 7th. So we're only 2 weeks away. So I had to pull the trigger and I pre-ordered it. So
Very nice.
I'm pretty hyped for that. That's honestly probably my favorite game series that's come out over the past, or that I've at least started.
Yeah.
Over the past probably 5 years or so.
Yeah, definitely.
I like I like them. Story-driven first-person shooters. It's fun. It's fun.
I agree with that. I agree with that sentiment. Butterclone and Tommy Boy talked me into downloading Forza Horizon 4, and the new one's coming out soon. But I always loved Horizon. I played a lot of 3, and I haven't played Forza in a while. I've been kind of like looking for. I've been kind of wanting to like inch back into a racing game, so I set Horizon to download last night. So.
Star Wars Racer.
Star Wars Episode 1 Pod Racer.
Is that not good enough for you? Are you too good?
It's cool, but I kind of want to drive a Lamborghini.
Are you too good for Anakin Skywalker?
Yeah, man. Too many Trugits needed to upgrade your pod.
Trugits. Yeah.
So that's it for gaming.
Good.
Fun stuff.
Like you said, I've heard some stuff through the grapevine that a lot of different developers are going after Star Wars games. So I don't know, no details from me, but I feel like I've seen several news articles about several different developers on the list of, at least over the past or the next 2 or 3 years, there should be some stuff trickling in, which is fucking nice.
Yeah, it takes some time. Why is my brain blanking? Didn't we have an announcement of a Star Wars game like a couple weeks ago? Star Wars Hunters, KOTOR remake. Wasn't there something else that they just talked about?
No.
That could be totally in a different dimension right now.
Different dimension.
I blame the multiverse. There is a different dimension that has like 30 Star Wars games, and they're all fucking awesome, and that's not the dimension we live in.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. Did you hear the Tamagotchis are a thing again?
Really?
Yeah.
They brought them back?
I'm looking it up. Someone said they revamped them.
Shit. Dude, I remember that.
Tamagotchi.
Man.
Tamagotchi.com is a thing. Holy shit, it's updated. What the fuck?
Damn.
And they've got little, like, actual screens. Ours were, like, 2 big squares that they just blinked back and forth. You're like, your baby's hungry. Blink, 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 blink. You're like, okay.
Damn.
Yeah, they're a thing now. Oh, you can throw it on your keychain? That makes sense. So you press a
Take
couple buttons.
photos? There's a fucking camera in there?
It's a globalist. That's how they're getting into the kids.
I'm surprised something like this has traction to come back when everyone has a supercomputer in their pocket and they
Yeah.
can just you just get a Tamagotchi for iOS.
Yeah. I was saying
I'm
the same
surprised.
thing. Huh.
Cool. Yeah, I remember this. I had it for a little while, and then once Digimon came out, I was like, I can have a Tamagotchi and battle it. I'm going to that one instead.
I'm going to that one.
So I
Battle
got
it?
rid of it and got that.
You know, now we're talking about Pokemans and all this. I saw a real-life Pokemon for the first time in my entire life
What do you
down
mean?
in Tennessee on the side of the road. It looked like the poor thing got hit, but I saw an armadillus.
Armadillus.
An armadillo, man. For the first time in my life, I'm like, oh, what is that? And it was fucking bigger than I thought.
What? Hang
Some
on,
some turkey vultures were picking at it on the side of the road. It looked like it had been hit.
I know this sounds stupid, but I need to kind of look up what an armadillo looks like.
It looks like a sand shrew, but it's got like an armored back, and they roll up into a ball.
Oh, nice. I got it. Okay. Sorry, when you said Pokemon and then you said armadillo, I wasn't making the connection for a second, but yes, I got you. Sandshrew!
Sandshrew! Dude, that thing looks that's a fucking Pokemon. We got real life Pokemons.
Well, Pokemon are just animals that fight. It's kind of a dark
I'm
plot,
pretty
once you think
sure
about it.
that Pokemon lost the fight against the turkey vulture. Turkey
Oh,
vulture had Peck Attack, and it's weak against Peck Attack, clearly.
And its owner obviously didn't have any hyper potions, and now it's dead.
Oh, man. It was wicked looking. It's something that you just never think about, and then you go out of town and you're like, what is that thing? It's wiggling.
No, I often do not think about armadillos. Or, yeah, so I think I'll have to keep that in mind next time I go to Tennessee. Speaking of Pokemon, I was informed that Build-A-Bear has a bunch of Pokemon.
Oh, really? It's
And
random.
now I know what I'm getting my daughter for Christmas. Now I just have to pick
A
between
Tamagotchi.
Pikachu, Charmander, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur.
Ooh, I see a Gengar.
Yeah, Gengar is supposed to be the next one coming out.
Oh, I see a Jawa.
Yeah, I think they have a few Star Wars things as well, but
I've been to Build-A-Bear once, and I got it for a girl in high school. When
Really?
we were like pretended to date for 2 days. That's the only time I've ever been there.
we went and got one for my little brother when he was like 2 years old, and of course my dad gave it sunglasses and a jacket, leather jacket. So it was like some fucking Harley Davidson bear. But I haven't been back since, and yeah, man, they have Pokemon. I'm like,
Oh,
I gotta
dude,
get
they
one.
have the Toy Story aliens.
What? How many?
Yep.
How many crossovers do they have at Build-A-Bear?
All of them.
thought it was
They have a
just-
Flareon. Wow, they went balls deep.
Pokeballs deep.
We made it, guys. We finally made it. Glad to be here.
That's like Kerner's ultimate crossover.
Pokeballs deep.
Where's Lord Kerner when you need him?
Somewhere else. He is somewhere else.
That's
Forever. Forever
I
else.
hear from him, about once a week. He sends me an Alex Jones video on laughs.
Turning the frog's gay.
And I watch it, and then my wife's like, I hate that guy's voice. And I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah, but it's funny.
it's true. It's all true.
Wish we could have him on the podcast. He likes Star Wars, doesn't he?
Kerner?
No, Alex Jones.
Alex Jones. Yeah.
It'd be a fun crossover. QAnon and Pokemon.
Tamagotchi. We got to think of something from the 90s that would transfer over to the kids these days that we can make billions on.
Pretty much everything.
What can we make? Furbies. We'll make new Furbies, but they'll cuss at you. Adult Furbies with wieners.
Why'd they have to have wieners? They already did tails. They have tails, don't they? That's just a reverse wiener.
Yeah. See, now we're thinking. Did you get the wiener upgrade? No, couldn't afford the wiener.
It'd be awkwardly making your character in Cyberpunk where you get to customize your dick.
Your dick.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
I've heard nothing but bad things about Cyberpunk. What happened? Was it just a buggy game?
I think it was... Yeah, it got, rushed out. So it wasn't done. So, it was buggy as fuck. It's, from what I heard, it's, super ambitious. How massive, GTA 5 and those games are? It's supposed to be, on that scale, if not more.
Mhm.
And, you know, it takes them like 10 years to develop a Grand Theft Auto game because it's so fucking
Yeah.
huge. So I think it was just maybe a little too ambitious, maybe a little too rushed, and it kind of...
Well, to give you an idea, I Googled Cyberpunk 2077, and the Google's suggesting some questions here. The first one is Cyberpunk still broken? Is the first question.
I love Google's suggested questions.
What? Cyberpunk creators lose $51 million in refunds after the game's disastrous launch. Holy fuck.
Yep.
Don't fuck a game up. You'd be broke.
No, dude. Gamers are like one of the most savage communities, I think.
Oh, Shinobi said it's a great game, to be honest. What dick sides did you go with?
I think once it's fixed, I'm sure it will be. You know. That's another issue with the higher ups stepping in, make decisions about creative things that they shouldn't have making decisions on. Same thing you were talking about Star Wars. Too many cooks in the kitchen. They want to get the game out before holiday season or whatever so they can rake in some extra cash from moms buying it for their kids.
Okay, here we go. I Googled 90s ideas I can make money off of now.
Sell your Pokemon cards.
No joke. Yahoo Finance. There's a list of 50 things from the 90s that you could make or you could be rich on today. They literally have a list.
Yeah. They probably mean selling all that stuff on eBay or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Pokemon.
Yeah, the old
Tamagotchi, Digimon.
Tamagotchis.
First edition Harry Potters.
Beanie Babies.
Animorphs.
Beanie Babies.
Animorphs.
A lot of Beanie Babies.
I know.
Oh,
Those things are
wow.
all the rage, dude.
You know what I didn't realize that existed is Jurassic Park Pogs. These are on that list.
Pogs. Yeah.
So they have several different dinosaurs, and they're like holographic Pogs. I've never seen that before. Maybe that's why they're so rare, because they're
yeah.
limited.
Actually, you know what they should bring back for today's kids is Crazy Bones. They should make a new version of Crazy Bones. And that they should license and do crossovers and do like Crazy Bones Star Wars and Crazy Bones Pokemon.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Pokemon cards are on here, obviously.
Yeah.
Magic cards, wow. Whoa, there's a scary little doll. I don't know what that is. I'm not looking at it anymore.
Nope.
There's Gizmo from Gremlins 2. I'm not even kidding.
Collector's item for a dork like you?
It is. It's still in the box. He's looking sad.
That's awesome.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, maybe if we make a somehow update like the Light Bright or some shit. And
I'm pretty sure the Light Bright's still around, dude.
maybe.
No, I think it is.
Yeah. I had those, now that we're stuck in the 90s again, as we always are, I had like a custom Pog maker. So I could like go to the newspaper and make a newspaper Pog. It would basically, whatever you put in front of it would cut out a circle that would fit on your goddamn Pog. So, you know, if you wanted to pull something from a magazine or comic book, you could do that. Which is a cool idea. Whatever.
Yeah.
I got this one.
I had some of those. I don't think I ever really played it. I didn't get into that as much as I did Crazy Bones.
Oh yeah. See, I was the opposite. I had tennis ball tubes full of Pogs, all laying all over the fucking place.
I think my mom made me pick. She was like, "You can't have both of these. You guys are gonna make me bankrupt. You got to pick one kind of toy that you want."
Only one kind of toy.
That's it. She still claims every time I go home, I'm like, "Where's all my toys?" I'm convinced she sold them in a garage sale.
Yeah.
She keeps saying that they're in the attic somewhere, and I'm like, I've looked, and there's nothing in there.
I say the same thing to my mom. I'm like, you had to have thrown them out or given them away. I was like, I had one shit ton.
Metric.
Standard.
One
One
Imperial
standard shit ton of Transformers and Beast Wars. I was like, that shit, not only do I want it now, it's worth a lot.
Right.
It's like, dude, I had Optimus Primal. Dude, I had it all. I had them all.
I got to get it ready for my kid to play with.
Exactly. I got to teach him.
We need the old school Batcave thing that like folds open and you got Alfred on the inside.
Had
Shit.
that.
Yep.
I had the whole Batcave from Forever.
Oh, nice.
Which it was literally just 3 little platforms. But if you had the Batmobile, the Batmobile fit on one of the platforms, so you could like drive it off. And you're like, I'm Batman.
So fucking.
I would say that as a kid.
I'm Batman. They went. That was a good time for action figures because they went so hard with like they were just like, make as many different versions of Batman you possibly can. He became like Barbie in the 90s. You had like firefighter Batman and like policeman Batman and like Marine Batman.
Marine.
Fucking sci-fi jetpack Batman. Like there were seriously so many different versions of him.
Shinobi said that he had a Michael Jackson pog, and then he said that he was the only person in the Western Hemisphere with an Oprah slammer. That's fucking hilarious. An Oprah slammer. That's awesome. It's one of the most outrageous things I've ever heard. An Oprah slammer.
It's 2 words that should not be.
I know that might be
they should not be conjoined.
I think that might be the first guest title of the show, the Oprah Slammer.
Probably good for SEO.
Oh, yeah.
Featuring Oprah on This Week Alone only.
Beauty
Get it here.
and the
Get it while it
Beast.
lasts.
Dude, the huge super soakers that they came out with in the 90s.
Nerf guns. Man, there was I have like such a great Christmas memory of like, maybe it was New Year's, but I got a Nerf gun for Christmas, and we went over to some one of my parents' friend's house for like a New Year's Eve party.
Mm-hmm.
Brought it with me, and the kids over there, they got new Nerf guns for Christmas as well. And we just took over the basement and just had a fucking Nerf war for like 4 hours, and it was one of the greatest nights of my life.
Yeah. I still, dude, some of the biggest stuff, biggest fun times, most fun
Most
I've
big
had
funnest.
is when we would play that hide and seek game in your church.
Oh, dude. So fucking crazy.
And we would take
what a
over
simple game.
Yeah, we literally would just take over the church and play hide and seek, and then we would take over the PA system and talk as God and be like, God wants you to give me money, $50, bitch.
That's where my podcast career started.
It is.
Back in the day.
God is pissed.
Well, it was an old church and such a large amount of square footage that it was a difficult game, and it was
They had
really
a torture
creepy.
chamber. They had a goddamn torture chamber in the basement next to the boiler.
That's true. That's where parents took their kids if they screamed during service.
This is. Let me show you hell real quick.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, those are fun. Yeah, how could you entertain yourself so much with what do you need for this game? Well, a flashlight and people, and that's it. Cool, we're good. See you in a week.
See you in a week.
That's all you need to be entertained back then.
You know
I sound
what?
like a fucking old person right now.
Yeah, it's true. You know what I used to have as a kid that's probably still around, but I haven't seen is Play-Doh. I used to play with Play-Doh a lot.
Yeah.
And I can still smell it
Yep.
and taste it. Honestly, it's salty.
Yep. Very salty. Oh, that's funny.
I ate Play-Doh. I'm sure that answers a lot of questions you guys had.
Hey, me too, man. Yeah.
Whatever. I was hungry. What else?
Sometimes you get some Play-Doh mixed up with the creepy crawler solution or whatever.
Yeah, and the bake it, bitch, oven, whatever the.
Bake it, bitch.
It's a classic.
Oh, on every Christmas list in the 90s. Bake it, bitch, oven. Get yours today.
That's funny. Play-Doh. It's not edible. That's my story.
Oh, God. All right.
Star Wars.
So always got to bring it back. I haven't been watching much Star Wars. I finally watched Loki.
Yeah, how
And
was
I've
it?
started watching the What If series. I'm 4 episodes in.
Has that gotten better? I started the first one. I was like, whoa.
It's cool.
Okay.
This is what? What were you going to shake your head
It
at?
was the one that was like Miss UK or whatever. I was like,
Yeah, Agent Carter becomes Captain, not Captain America, Captain. Well, they call her Captain Carter, but she has a name. Captain Britain, something like that. Captain Planet. It's cool. It's just, it's funny because I went into it. I was like, this is going to be a nice animated series that's not really connected to everything, and then it kind of is because they've opened up the multiverse in the MCU. So you're like, this isn't connected, but it kind of could be if they decided to make it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, everything plays out a little differently. It's fun to see a twist on things. I don't know. Do you plan on watching it? Should I spoil it?
What though? Just what if?
Yeah,
altogether.
I mean, it's not like spoiler, but there are some fun twists. Like the third episode's like a murder mystery. Yeah, it's fun. I won't spoil it. You're gonna have to enjoy it yourself.
I'll watch it. It was just one of those things. I was looking for something new, and I watched the first episode. I was like, whoa, that's not what I was looking for. So I just didn't have the energy to keep trudging through and looking for good stuff. So
Well, that's fine. I would give Loki another shot though.
I haven't. Yeah, I just haven't given that enough energy. I'll
cool.
get through Loki for sure.
Oh, it was cool. Yeah. I can't remember if I talked about it last week or not. I don't think I did, but it kind of gets you curious about a lot of things that are to come. Just make sure you give it until the full end of the first episode before you decide to continue or not. Because it does have a little bit of a slow ramp up. There's a lot of exposition in the beginning. They really kind of lay it all out for you. So give it the full first episode, but it was enjoyable. A lot of fun. Still haven't seen Black Widow. Still haven't seen Shang-Chi.
Ah, fuck. You're
I
right.
want to go to the movies, but it's so hard to go to the movies now.
Yeah.
You know? Not that Mrs. Commander's like heavy into Marvel, but if I'm going to go to the movies, she wants to go too. And we can't really.
Are either of those available without purchasing yet, or is it just?
Black Widow will be on Disney Plus. I think it's like October 4th or something.
Fuck. Well, that's not too
for
far
free.
Away. It's
It'll
2
be
weeks away.
It's on there now with the premiere thing. It's like $20, like a movie ticket.
Yeah.
But like October 4th or something, it'll be available for free. Shang-Chi, I don't think is not on Disney at all. It's only in theaters right now. They're kind of trying to go back to the come see it in theaters thing.
Okay, well, I'll wait till the 4th then. I mean, that's one of those movies I do want to see, but you know what? I'm not going to spend $20 on it. I'm sorry, even being a fucking nerd. I just, whatever. I'll wait. I'm not in a hurry. I got other shit to watch, so I'll watch Loki and all the other stuff in the meantime.
That's true. Speaking of, there's a what the fuck's it called? What a great way to start a new segment. I want to talk about this thing.
I have a question.
What's the new? It's Isaac Asimov is like classic sci-fi writer, and one of his things is getting made into a show on Apple TV. Foundation, that's what it's called. Thank you. Foundation comes out. I think it's this Friday on Apple TV, and I'm very much looking forward to that. I've heard so much about that series, and similarly about Dune. And I've never read either of them, but they're just in such high regard that I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah, I'm never gonna get through Dune. The issue is, it's one of those like they don't give a fuck about the reader. It's just you got to keep going. It's almost like a I'm too tired. I'm too old. Too old.
I look over at it on my bookshelf because I got it knowing I wasn't going to read it for a while. And I decided I want to see the movie first and then go back and read it with all the pictures in my head. Same way I did Game of Thrones, same way I did Lord of the
I see what you're
Rings.
saying. So you want to watch Dune first.
I'm going to watch the
before
movie
reading.
first.
Yeah.
And I think it's November or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder when we're going to get that.
It's over 2.5 hours. It's going to be a good long movie.
That's what I'm talking about. I wonder when we're going to get that Book of Boba Fett trailer.
Huh.
I feel like that should be coming out soon. I mean, we're like 2.5 months away.
Oh, shit. I broke my stuff.
Oh.
No, it's... what's weird is... Star Wars has done very odd things with their trailers as of late. Like, I feel like within the past 2 years, it's been like, we were supposed to have a trailer for 9, 6 months ago. Where is this shit at? We gotta wait. We wait, and you're like, dude, is it even happening anymore? I don't fucking know. So, no, and the stuff that we have gotten has been, weird, I guess, per se. They're playing it real close as historically they throw shit out there and lead us on, and so we can talk about stuff. Now they're not giving us shit. So
yeah, Shinobi, let us know if you know the release dates or the estimated for. I was wondering like if we have Cassian to look forward to next, or if Kenobi is going to be next. I want to say it's Cassian, but
Cassian has to be next. They've been talking about casting for 5 years.
I can't believe they don't have a date for that fucking thing yet.
We've talked about it. We're not.
That's
we're
true.
Done. We're done.
Go back and listen to all of our past episodes. To hear us
But Kenobi, let's see if Kenobi hit the series release date.
FedEx just shared a little clip of him.
Just says 2022.
It was at an interview for one of his other movies, but they asked him about Kenobi, and he said they wrapped filming. He had a lot of fun working on it. It was unlike any of the prequels that he was on, and he said he enjoyed it a lot.
Nice. Yeah, I just found it says, we finished shooting our series, and it was really, really good fun. I really enjoyed working with Deborah Chow. I think it will not disappoint. I think it's going to be good. I had a really good time making it, blah, blah, blah. Lovely people. The new technology we employed doing it is cool. Okay. So they might be testing some...
No, it's the same shit that they used on The Mandalorian.
It was
those, like, projector screens and everything.
Yeah, he said it was a different experience than making of the original 3 films that he did. So,
yeah.
Well, I imagine so because it's going to be a series. Come on.
Yeah, and it's been 22 years.
Well, and working back with Hayden would be. Yeah, man. I mean, to be honest, this is my number one storyline that I want to see. For how much I want to get outside of the storyline.
Yeah.
This is the meat and potatoes of the storyline, though. This is like exactly. I mean, we're missing a large span, 19 years between 3 and 4. That major shit can go on.
Yeah.
And it's the solidifying of the Empire that we don't see. We are more or less kind of left in just a, hey, look, the Death Star is being built, and then all of a sudden we're on Tatooine, and you're like, whoa, we jumped a lot right here. Like, go ahead.
I don't know why this just came to me, but I just got excited for the potential of seeing a clone show up in Kenobi. And then I was thinking of Commander Cody because Obi-Wan served with the 212th. And I was just thinking, like, if Filoni's tying everything together and he's got his hands over here and clones here and Bad Batch there, I was like, the clone showing up in Kenobi is definitely highly likely. And if it would be Commander Cody, my dreams would be complete. And Qui-Gon Ghost, hopefully, probably.
Yeah, I mean, also returning to the cast are Joel and Bonnie as Owen and Beru.
Oh. Interesting. They got to get into some fucking kind of fight before episode 4. Because Owen is so mad when Luke brings up Obi-Wan.
They got to have a huge disagreement on what to do with Luke.
Yeah.
And, Owen's got a fucking freak. That drunk bastard sand wizard. Just keep him out of here.
He got sand in my boots.
You know how I feel about that? Sand.
He stole my moisture.
He stole my moisture.
Crops are gone.
Mixing his devil drinks. Stole all my moisture. With his bitch baker. No, that honestly, I didn't know Owen and Beru were going to be in it, which it makes sense. So, I mean, it sounds dumb, but we have a setting. It's going to be on Tatooine, at least part of it. Which, I mean, maybe that sounds dumb to you guys, but you never know where they could take it. He could leave Tatooine.
Yeah, I think he has to in order for them to make an entire season around him being on Tatooine. He's got to do something. So, yeah. Let's see what happens.
Let us see. Yeah, I'm excited. It is, I mean, we're going to see Hayden as Vader, which is going to be a very weird twist. I know we saw, 2 scenes of him at the end of 3 as Vader.
Yeah.
Suited Vader. Yeah. Ooh. Daco says, I really hope Qui-Gon haunts Obi-Wan while he's drinking at the bar. What I was thinking is maybe Qui-Gon talks to Anakin because they have father figure that Anakin never had.
I'm glad you said that because you got to think, how did Anakin become a Force ghost at the end of 6? Mm-hmm. It's something that he possibly, we think, never knew about. And I guess back then was just like, well, if he's on the light side, then obviously he's back, even though he's dead. And then at the end of episode 3, Yoda mentions, like, Qui-Gon is going to train you in this. So it's not just like any Jedi can do it. It actually takes some training. So the fact that Anakin does it at the end of 6, I don't know. Maybe Qui-Gon did try to reach out.
Or maybe there's a deleted scene at the end of 6 where right before Vader passes out, Qui-Gon shows up in the Ghost Manual, and he's like, "Okay, you got to do this before you die. This is how you do
Here's
it."
your checklist. Here's your death
Okay.
checklist.
Yeah, death checklist.
Death list. Well, because we are all familiar with Force Ghosts from the original trilogy, but Vader has never seen one, really? Has he? Like, it's not like he sat there and, like, talked to Obi-Wan as a Force Ghost at all.
Whoa. My God.
So I wonder if it
Nope,
could be
I'm
something
pissing.
as simple as, like, Qui-Gon comes to him as a Force Ghost, and he's like, oh, that's, like, some new ability, and then he goes and learns it on his own or something.
This might be a dumb question.
Okay.
But Anakin in episode 3, when he has a dream of Padme dying in childbirth,
Yes.
was that Sidious's doing?
It could be. We've probably talked about it.
See?
It totally could be. Everything's Palpatine. It always has been from the very beginning.
No. Could you... Fuck. That makes me so mad, but it makes so much sense.
I'm sure we've talked about it, yeah.
I wonder what the scene is right before he has that dream. Is it the Plagueis scene? Where...
No, because that's when he's already had the dream and come to him for help.
Oh, that's right.
But, see, I prefer the story of that's a test for Anakin. The Force is putting that in his head. And the real test, as Yoda said, is like you have to detach yourself. Because as we know, if Anakin would have left it alone, it would not have happened. And because he's trying so hard to prevent it, it does end up happening. He causes it to happen.
And or it was going to happen regardless. Maybe she just
Possible.
simply dies in childbirth, but you don't have to fall to the fucking dark side, you dickhead.
Right. Or kill her with sadness.
Kill her with sadness. Kill her with sadness is the way it goes.
Nice.
Yeah, all that to say, I'm excited to see Hayden as suited Vader. Perhaps he takes the helmet off.
Hopefully.
And is still scarred and healing.
I'm excited to see McGregor as middle-aged Obi-Wan.
True. Maybe, yeah, we'll see a lot of gray hairs.
Transition into Alec Guinness look.
Yep.
Totes.
Yeah, I mean, truly, in the core of me, I need to see suited Vader take his helmet off, and I need to see Hayden's face. I need to see that Rogue One tube with Vader. I need to see Hayden's face in that, and I want it. I fucking want it. And then once that's done, get it off the screen and give me KOTOR again.
And then I want the same scene with Malik.
Yes, please. I need. What if
Take his jaw off
What?
instead of his helmet.
Yeah. What if they add on to those cutscenes? What if they add on to those cutscenes?
What do you mean?
In KOTOR, what if they expand?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were still on Kenobi for a second.
No. What if they expand on I mean, they'd have to get the voice actors, which I would imagine wouldn't be too difficult.
Yeah, there's a lot in question there. I mean,
How far are they going?
right.
I guess
they
yeah.
didn't say. I mean, they could do it from the ground up.
They need.
I have
to.
a feeling that they're going to keep, like, for example, they could keep all the voice acting as a place to start and build it off of there. Because I feel like recasting and retelling the entire story. I mean, there's a lot in that game for being, even though it's 2003. There's a lot in there. So
Sure.
there's
They
so
can-
many different. Yeah.
They can reuse a lot. They can. Well,
they
at
could
least
totally do it
audio.
from scratch.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like, if just do it right, don't give us some half-ass update game. I need I mean,
Yeah.
even the trailer. Look how fucking good it looks.
Yep.
You're already setting
Teaser,
your
yeah.
expectations. Our expectations way high. That
True.
teaser trailer was fucking
Yeah.
crazy, and all it was Revan's face.
Yeah. Well, mask.
Oh yeah, that's the only face I know.
So we didn't. As you play in the game, you never hear yourself talk. It was kind of right
True.
on that cusp of like your main character in an RPG didn't say anything. It was
Yep.
all just text.
But, yeah.
So what if they cast someone to be Revan's voice like they did with Shepard?
Girl and boy.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be mad at it. Just make it a dude and a chick. That's fine. I don't.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be anything crazy. Now,
What
if
if they
Karth's
put-
voice isn't annoying as fuck, I'll be upset.
Yeah, you can't change Karth being a bitch.
I don't know.
And also, I have a request for you guys if you're listening from Aspire Games or whatever the name of the company is.
great way to start a request. Whatever the fuck you are.
This is going into the ether. Someone will find it. Hashtag request. Can you make it feasible to get through the game with blasters? Because I've tried it and I've gotten like kind of close, but it gets a little monotonous. And after Dantooine and then the first planet, I kind of give up. But it'd be fun to do, a whole new set of combinations on how you can build your character. So there's a lot of
Use a-
variation in the first one, but
Use a Vulcar shock stick the whole time. How many times can you upgrade it?
electric dildo the whole time. Yeah.
Electric dildo. The
So.
ED, you're gonna get it.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to it regardless. That's all.
Yeah. It's funny that when literally the quote was, "I think it will not disappoint." The fuck? What are
I
you
watched
even
I
saying
watched
to
the
me?
video of that. It's like he's just kind of like casually chatting. It's not like it was like a formal interview. He was just
Sure.
like, "Yeah, I think it'll be good. It was fun."
Yeah, I get it, but that was a terrible quote. I think it won't piss a lot of people off. So
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Also, you don't know how much they're gonna add. It's weird to say, but all of the acting that he's done in those scenes. I mean, there's a lot of CGI that goes in, and he's not actually talking to Vader, or they're gonna put that in later. I wonder. Oh, actually, will we see suited Vader just walking around, and will that be Hayden?
I assume. Yeah.
Well, I guess my mind went to Iron Man. Whenever you see full suited Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr. is not involved.
Right. It's a stuntman.
No,
CGI.
it's all CGI.
I think
100%.
it depends. There's like some that are a mixture.
But I guess it doesn't make sense because Vader's just walking around. The whole point is Iron Man can fly. Guys,
Right.
I get it.
He shoots like laser blasts and stuff. Yeah. Daco, no, this is not the remake where we get to be the Schlummies. Those gents got cease and desisted, which we now know is for an actual reason and not the mouse being a bitch.
See, that's the silver lining. That shit got canceled, but at least it was canceled for this,
Right.
and not just canceled just to cancel them.
Right. And if you don't know what we're talking about, it was back all the way on episode 94. But there was two guys under the name Apeiron KOTOR. That's Apeiron KOTOR.
Ape Iron.
Ape Iron KOTOR, and they were remaking it. So kind of like what we've been talking about, using all like the audio assets and like the story and everything, but redesigning the levels and all that from the ground up with new
Making it look
graphics and
beautiful.
Unreal Engine. But yeah, we had them on the show. It was a lot of fun, and we were kind of joking around like we're gonna be the voice actors for the Schlummies that you meet on Terrace. But they got cease and desisted, and there was another indie group kind of remaking KOTOR. They also got the same, and we were kind of annoyed at the time, like blah blah blah. Disney's not doing anything. Why can't we just let the fans have fun? But now we know they did that because they were actually going to remake KOTOR.
But think about that timeline. Like that shit happened probably 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And just now we get a hey, it's happening. And you're like, dude,
We
it
got
better
3 more
fucking
years to
be.
go. Yeah, 2 or 3. Yeah. I said 3. I don't know if that's accurate. I'm just kind of making it up. We don't know how far in development they are. Like they could be like,
years.
hey, we just had this idea. We got it in motion last month. We're gonna make a teaser. Or they could be, 75% of the way. You never really know.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Schlummies. I guess that's it.
Here's an interesting question.
Oh, here we go.
Sorry, I saw Phantom Finn just mention Rogue One and Vader. Are they gonna have James Earl Jones do the voice? If
They
Vader
better
has to speak.
not. They better not.
You know, it'd be really interesting if they found a new way to do if Vader talked without the helmet, and they found a way to, it would be Hayden's voice, and if they could modulate it or something to make it sound kind of like hoarse or fucked up, it'd be cool to hear him talk without the helmet on.
What if they did some stupid shit
I hope they do. I really hope
where they have Hayden's voice distorted and use it, and then they throw in a reason why the voice modulator got busted or something, so it got redesigned, and then you have James Earl Jones's voice going forward.
Interesting.
Just as a, hey, we can make it through the Obi-Wan series with Hayden's voice, and it would still be like a, but then
And that's exactly what Hayden sounds like. Hey, I'm Darth Vader.
I mean,
Yeah, because it was a little weak in Rogue One.
That's what I don't want that.
Right.
I would rather them.
And it's been another 5 years since then. So
Yeah, exactly.
fucking dude, 5 years ago.
Ging. Rogue One was 5 years ago.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Because I was looking for an old photo, and I was going back through my photos library, scrolling way back, and looking at like our Rogue One event and our Last Jedi event. Yeah, Rogue One was 5 years ago. That's crazy.
That was the second movie that came out, right? 7,
Yep.
then Rogue. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Damn, man. Damn.
I remember just being so fucking hyped for 7.
Yep. I think
It's-
that my peak of excitement in the Disney era was going into Last Jedi. Obviously, like, everything
Yeah.
coming back was important, and Force Awakens was a lot of fun. But you go from that to Rogue One, that gets you on a real high, and then you just can't imagine how Luke is going to be in Last Jedi. And then we're at Celebration, and you see the trailer,
Yeah.
and Rey's training, and Luke's old, and Kylo's pissed. And, like, I feel like that was the pinnacle of, like, oh my God, Star Wars.
Yeah. And I feel like the trailer had him that elevator scene with his helmet where he's bashing it, and I was like, dude, there's so much emotion in that. I'm like, fuck, some shit's gonna happen in this movie.
Yeah. God. All right. Well, I hope the next 6 or 7 years of Star Wars can get me as hyped as what I hoped the past 6 or 7 years of Star Wars could have done.
Well, I take it back because Vader does talk in Episode 3.
Oh, yeah.
So
Is she safe? Is
Is she all right? Why did you kill my wife?
why did she die because of me?
Why did you make me do that?
All right, guys. Tamagotchis completed all of it.
Have a wonderful evening, everybody.
Take care.
If you did not watch this episode live, do yourself a favor. Look us up on YouTube. Throw us a little sub, and we live stream every episode. So catch us on YouTube and chat with us and tell us what to talk about and call us out for not knowing any of the Star Wars knowledge.
And if you'd like to hear us chat about CKY, we're going to be jumping on Revenge of the 90s, our buddy's podcast, where they basically just pick a 90s movie and then they chat about it. And they go pretty deep into it. So they chose us for that because we're dumbasses and we fit the bill for CKY.
True.
So, I mean, it's not far-fetched. We talk about the goddamn CKY on this shithole. So I might as well do it on their shithole, too.
No, it's a good crossover. And they just got done doing a whole streak of Keanu films. That was a lot of fun. The Matrix was good. Speed was good. That one I enjoyed a lot. I love Speed. They are huge fans of The Mummy, as am I, and I think you are as well. That's kind of like out of all the ones they've done, it's like they always come back to quoting The Mummy because it's so good.
Turtles.
And they're
90s
Turtles.
Batmans.
Yep. And they're about to get into an entire run of horror films
Ooh, from the 90s.
as we lead up to Halloween. So they did that last year. Silence of the Lambs, Sleepy Hollow, a lot of good stuff. So hopefully they do Dracula. I'm looking forward to that one.
A 90s Dracula?
Yeah. I talked about it. Francis Ford Coppola Dracula with Anthony Hopkins and Keanu Reeves and Gary Oldman.
Ooh, Silence of the Lambs.
Yep, that's a good one. So I broke open the Halloween floodgates with House of a Thousand Corpses. So now it's time to get into spooky season.
Spook season. No, I'm down for it. Let's do it. And you shall too. Goodbye.
And you shall too.
Completed the shit.
All right, streamers. Here's what I want all of you guys to do if you're still on the stream. Thanks for watching. Tell one friend to subscribe to us on YouTube.
And if you don't have friends,
We're your friends, so tell us.